Some hairstyles don't just add years, they subtract energy. They pull your features down, weigh your expression, and leave you wondering why your reflection feels heavier than it should. Let's be honest. Aging gracefully doesn't mean settling. It doesn't mean clinging to the same haircut you've had since the kids still watched VHS tapes and your hairdresser still used cap highlights. But here's the thing. For many women over 60, some styles don't age with us. They just sit there, frozen in time, like an old voicemail from a version of ourselves that felt right once. And maybe that version still shows up in your bathroom mirror some mornings. Familiar, safe. But when you tilt your head just slightly, you think, is this still me? See, after 50, especially after 60, something shifts. You stop dressing for trends. You start showing up for yourself. And part of that shift? It's your hair. Because your haircut isn't just hair. It frames your face, yes, but also your energy. It can pull you down or lift you up. And for many elegant women in their 60s, the wrong cut doesn't just add years, it mutes the sparkle you still carry. So in this video, we're not here to shame your style history. We're here to evolve with it. We'll talk about 3 once flattering haircuts that might now be quietly working against you. And more importantly, we'll explore 3 fresh, facelifting styles that feel effortless, modern, and deeply you. So if you're ready to let go of what's just fine and lean into what's actually right for women over 60 today, you're in the right place. And if you find even one tip in here that speaks to you, I'd love it if you gave this video a like or shared it with a friend who might need it too. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit subscribe. There's more real, honest beauty talk coming your way, and you might be surprised which cut made the biggest difference. Let's begin. Let's start with the sneakiest one because it often hides behind the illusion of volume. You know the one, that layered cut you swore by in your 40s. The one that used to fall just right after a blow-dry and a prayer. But now, it's turned into the hairstyle equivalent of a teenager, rebellious, unpredictable, and somehow always in your face. You brush it this way, it flips that way. One side tucks under, the other puffs out, like it's got somewhere to be. And the back? Let's not talk about the back. Here's the truth we rarely say out loud. Not all layered haircuts age as gracefully as we do, especially for women over 60, when our hair begins to shift, thinner, finer, a little more delicate. What once added volume now just adds chaos. And sure, maybe you kept those layers hoping for bounce, for body, for that fuller look. But instead, they demand a styling routine fit for a Broadway production. Round brushes, heat tools, mousse, arm strength, and by the end, you're sweating more than the hair is shining. And here's the part no one tells you until it's too late. Layers that hit at the wrong spots, below the cheekbones, mid-jaw, can actually drag the entire face downward. What was meant to lift ends up pulling. And in your 60s, even a small visual shift can affect how you feel when you walk out the door. So what's the smarter move? A cut that flows instead of fights. Think soft, face-framing layers, feathered at the ends, not stacked in defiance. A flattering style for mature faces that moves with your day, not against it. Because after 60, hair shouldn't feel like a daily battle. It should feel like a gentle lift that lasts. Now, let's shift from shape to shade. Because the wrong color can age you just as much as the wrong cut. Let's talk about a color that once felt powerful. Jet black. Bold, mysterious, fierce. The kind of shade that said, I walk into a room and own it. And for years, maybe even decades, it did. But here's the honest shift. For women over 60, what used to feel dramatic now risks feeling too sharp. Like heavy eyeliner in harsh daylight, or a turtleneck that suddenly feels like it's choking you. See, as our skin softens and our features settle into warmer tones, jet black stays loud. It outlines every line, every shadow, every sleepless night. And in natural light, let's just say it doesn't whisper, it shouts. And then there's the maintenance. That half-inch of regrowth, it's not subtle. The contrast between silver roots and pitch black strands, is, well, visible from space. Unless you're in the salon every 2 weeks, the grow out isn't kind. But here's the real catch most women don't realize. A color that once gave presence can now create distance. Instead of lighting you up, it overpowers you. But that doesn't mean giving up on bold. It means choosing the kind of bold that complements where you are now, not where you used to be. Try this instead. A rich, soft brown, or a deep brunette with warm caramel ribbons that catch the light, not absorb it. Even just a few lighter strands around your face can warm up your entire expression. It's not about dimming down. It's about refining your glow. Because hair color for women over 60 should do what makeup does at its best. Soften, lift, and highlight without taking center stage. And then there's the opposite of too soft. Styles that are stuck, stiff, frozen in time. You've seen it. Maybe you've worn it. That perfectly teased, heavily sprayed crown that doesn't move, even in a thunderstorm. The kind of hair that says, I showed up, and so did my entire arsenal of hairspray. And once upon a time, that look meant something. It was elegant, intentional, a little dramatic in the best way. It gave you lift, not just to your roots, but to your confidence. But here's the quiet truth. What once lifted, now freezes. And frozen hair doesn't move. It doesn't catch the light. It doesn't say now. It says then. And while we're being honest, let's say what many women over 60 feel but don't voice. Stillness in hair can create stillness in energy. When your hair is sculpted into place, like museum glass, it creates a kind of disconnect. Not peaceful stillness, more like, is it real? And the rest of you, your energy, your clothes, your presence, can feel out of sync. Not to mention the daily ritual. Backcombing, spraying, shaping. By 8 a.m., you're already one round brush away from carpal tunnel. But the real shift? It's not about letting go of volume. It's about letting go of control. Because voluminous hairstyles over 60 can still be beautiful. They just need to breathe. Think gentle lift at the crown, airy movement at the ends. Let a few strands fall, soften, sway. Use a bit of mousse or root spray, not a full shellac, because your presence speaks volumes already. Your hair, it just needs to echo that with ease, not effort. Let's take a breath. You've seen the styles that no longer do you favors. Maybe they once did, and that's okay. We all hold on to what once worked until we're ready to reach for what works now. So if you're ready for something softer, more effortless, more you, here are 3 modern cuts that don't chase trends. They simply flatter women over 60 with quiet confidence. They don't shout for attention. They just quietly know they've earned it. If your current layers feel like they've started arguing with your face shape, this cut is the peace treaty. The soft bob for women over 60 is elegant, simple, and beautifully unbothered. It hits just at the chin or collarbone, with feathered ends that move like conversation, light, meaningful, unforced. It doesn't try too hard. It frames the face instead of competing with it. And if your hair's lost a bit of thickness, which, let's be honest, most of ours has, it adds shape without chaos. It's like a linen shirt, crisp, classic, and always appropriate. Still love a little length, but tired of the drama? The textured lob over 60 might be your answer. It sits right at the shoulders, layered just enough to bring movement, but not so much that it demands a curling iron every morning. You can toss it into a ponytail. Let it fall in waves. Pin one side behind your ear. It adapts to your day, not the other way around. And when cut well, it brings a soft vertical lift to your overall silhouette. Especially flattering for women with rounder or softer face shapes. Modern, low maintenance, and quietly radiant. Not the bangs of your high school yearbook. These are grown-up fringe, relaxed, parted, and surprisingly flattering. Especially for mature women looking to soften strong features. Curtain bangs add gentle framing without the commitment of a full chop. They draw the eye upward, soften the forehead, and blend beautifully with layered cuts. Even better, they grow out gracefully. Low commitment, high reward, Because at this stage, it's not about hiding age. It's about framing wisdom with grace. So, maybe it's not really about hair. Not entirely. Maybe it's about finally looking in the mirror and seeing someone who feels true again. Not the woman you were in your 30s. Not the version who clung to styles like lifelines, but the woman you are now, wiser, warmer, still full of spark. Because aging isn't a problem to solve, it's a chapter to live. And your haircut? It's just one line in that story, but it can be a beautiful one. So if you've been holding on to a style out of habit, or fear, or because you didn't know what else would work, this is your permission to try something different. Not drastic, not loud, just right. Right for your features, right for your lifestyle. Right for the version of you who no longer needs to prove anything to anyone. Because hairstyles for women over 60 don't need to be safe. They need to be honest. You don't need more hair. You don't need less hair. You just need a cut that moves with you, lifts with you, and reflects the light you already carry. And trust me, when you find it, you'll feel it. Not just on your head, but in your walk, in your smile, in the way you show up for yourself. So, let me ask you, which of these styles surprised you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Because style after 60 isn't about holding on. It's about knowing when to let go and what to reach for next.